Hi boys and girls, welcome back to Mr Brakefield Reads. It is Wednesday, it is our chapter book day, and so we will be getting straight back into the Hodgeheg. But before we do, I just want to say a big thank you to all those people that have sent things in to me, inspired by the twits. So we've had book reviews, we've had some character descriptions, some new book covers that have been designed. It's wonderful to see. It brought a big smile to my face when I saw the emails coming in yesterday, and I want to see more. If you've got anything at all and you haven't sent it in yet, if you can send it in, please do. Just a picture of what you've done, send it in via email and I'll receive it. And then what I'm going to do later on in the week is I'm going to do a special video where I'm going to show what you've been up to. Now, another quick thank you, big thank you to parents at home, mums and dads, who are doing their very, very best to help you with your learning at home and doing everything they can. I know mums and dads have a tough time at the moment because, like me, if not much busier, I'm sure, mums and dads are working from home, as well as not only looking after you guys, but also trying to ensure that you're doing as much schoolwork as you can. And I thank you for that. Thank you for that. It's really, really appreciated. If we could make things back to normal, then we would do that, of course. There's not a teacher out there that doesn't want to get back into that classroom. But unfortunately, that's not possible at the moment. But what you're doing at home is much appreciated, and I am sure you're doing a great job. All I would say to mums and dads is, don't give yourself a hard time if one particular day doesn't go particularly well, or you don't think you're doing enough. I'm sure you are doing more than enough at the moment. And just keep doing what you're doing, and just keep doing what you're doing, and know that it is appreciated, because it really, really is. Anyway, let's get on to the Hodgeheg now. That's enough serious stuff for one video. So we're on to chapter 3. By now it was quite late. The rush hour was over. The shops were shut. All was quiet. I'll wait, thought Max, and then when a lorry or car comes along, I'll cross in front of it. Soon he saw something coming. It was a lorry. He was halfway across when he suddenly realised the lorry hadn't slowed up at all and was almost on top of him, blinding him with its brilliant lights, deafening him with its thunderous roar. It was not going to stop. Lorries only stopped for people, not hedgehogs. The lorry driver, who, until he was almost upon the crossing, had been quite unaware of the tiny pedestrian, did the only thing possible. With no time to brake or swerve, he steered as to straddle the little animal. Looking back in his wing mirror, he saw that it was continuing on its way unhurt, and he grinned and drove off into the night. The sheer horror of this great monster passing above, with its huge wheels on either side of him, threw Max into a blind panic, and he made for the end of the crossing as fast as his legs would carry him. He did not see the cyclist silently pedalling along close to the curb, and the cyclist did not see him until the last moment. Feverishly, the man twisted his handlebars, and the front wheel of the bicycle suddenly wrenched round, caught Max on the rump, and catapulted him head first into the face of the curbstone. The next thing that Max recalled was crawling painfully under his own front gate. And there's the scene. There's Max rolling off into the curbstone. Somehow he had managed to come back over the zebra crossing. He had known nothing of the concern of the cyclist, who had dismounted, peered at what looked like a small dead hedgehog, sighed and pedalled sadly away. He remembered nothing of his journey home, wobbling dazedly along on the now deserted pavement, guided only by his sense of smell. And all he knew was that he had an awful headache. The family had crowded round him on his return, all talking at once. "Where have you been all this time?" asked Ma. "Are you all right, son?" asked Pa. "Did you cross the road?" they both said, and Peony and Pansy and Petunia echoed, "Did you? Did you? Did you?" For a while Max did not reply. His thoughts were muddled, and when he did speak, his words were muddled too. "I got a head on the bump," he said slowly. The family looked at one another. "Something bopped me on the hit 'em," said Max. "And then I headed my bang." My ache, bads, Headley. But did you cross the road? Cried his sisters. Yes, said Max wearily. I hound where the humans cross over, but the traffic only stops if you're human, interrupted Pa. Yes, said Max. Not if you're a Hodgeheg. Chapter 4. And before we go on to chapter 4, let me show you the picture of Max. He is not looking well at all. He has a huge bump on his head from where he has headbutted the curbstone. Chapter 4. Do you suppose he'll be all right? Said Ma anxiously. It was dawn, and they were about to retire for the day. The children were already asleep in the thick bed of fallen leaves. I should hope so, said Pa. Hodgeheg indeed. His brains are scrambled. Max slept the clock round and halfway round again. He did not stir until the evening of the following day. The shock had sent him into a kind of short, early hibernation. When at last he woke, his sisters rushed to nuzzle at his nose, the safest nuzzling place for hedgehogs, with squeaks of concern, and his parents left their snail hunting and came trotting up. How are you feeling, my dear? Said Ma. Max considered this. His headache was almost gone, and he was thinking straight, but his speech, he found, would still not behave properly. I bet bitter. Thanks, he said. You had a nasty knock, said Pa. You need rest, said Ma. Why not get back into bed? We'll bring you some nice slugs. I don't want to bed into it yet, said Max. I feel quite wake-a-wide. In fact, I feel like walking for a go. Pa took a moment to work this one out. Then he said firmly, You're not going anywhere, son, do you hear me? You stay in the garden for a while. Get your strength back, understand? Yes, Pa, said Max. I'll say what you do. And he did do what Pa had said, for a week or more. Peony, Pansy and Petunia fussed over their brother. They brought him the fattest, slimiest slugs they could find and encouraged him to play their favourite game, hide and seek. However, this didn't work. When they hid, Max forgot to go and look for them, and when it was his turn, he forgot to go and hide. So busy was he thinking about the business of road crossing. The girls would count to 30 with their eyes shut, but when they opened them, Max would still be sitting there thinking. Striped bits were no good. He didn't intend trying that again, but maybe, he thought, there were other methods. His determination to find out was increased when Pa came back early one morning from a visit to the park with more bad news. Max heard him telling Ma. Another one gone, Pa said. Not a relation, said Ma fearfully. No, said Pa. Chap from number 9A, just up road. I didn't know him well, you understand, but he always seemed a decent sort of hog. He was crossing just in front of me not 10 minutes ago. Misjudged it. Motorbike got him. Leaves a wife and 6 kids. That evening, Max waited until he was sure that Pa was out of the way in the garden of 5B. The people in 5A always put out bread and milk for Max's family, but the people in 5B often provided something much better for their hedgehogs, tinned dog food. Every evening, Pa crept through the dividing hedge to see if he could nick a saucerful of munchy meat before his neighbour woke from the day's sleep. Ma, said Max, I'm walking for a go. Ma was quick at translating by now. Did Pa say he could go? Said Ma. No, said Max, but he couldn't say I didn't. And before Ma could do anything, he trotted off along the garden path. Oh, Max, called Ma, are you sure you'll be all right? Yes, of course, said Max. I'll be quite KO. Once outside the garden gate, he turned left and set off up the road in the opposite direction to his previous effort. By now he was used to the noise and the brightness, and confident that he was safe from traffic as long as he did not step down into the road. When a human passed, he stood still. The creatures did not notice you, he found, if you did not move. He trotted on, past the garden of number 9A with its widow and 6 kids, until the row of houses ended and a high factory wall began, so high that he would not have been able to read the notice on it beside the factory entrance. Max speed 5 miles per hour, it said. Max kept going, a good deal more slowly than this, and then suddenly, once again, he saw not far ahead what he was seeking. Again, there were people crossing the street. This time, they did not go in ones and twos at random, but waited all together, and then, at some signal he supposed, crossed at the same time. Max drew nearer until he could hear, at intervals, a high, rapid beep, 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 beep noise, at the sound of which the traffic stopped and the people walked over in safety. Creeping closer still, tight up against the wall, he finally reached the crossing place, and now he could see this new magic method. The bunch of humans stood and watched. Just above their heads, a picture of a little red man standing quite still. The people stood quite still. Then suddenly, the little red man disappeared, and underneath him there was a picture of a little green man walking, swinging his arms. The people walked, swinging their arms, while the high, rapid, peep, 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 peep noise warned the traffic not to move. Max sat and watched for quite a long time, fascinated by the red man and the green man. He rather wished they could have been a red hedgehog and a green hedgehog, but that was not really important, as long as hedgehogs could cross here safely. That was all he had to prove, and the sooner the better. He edged forward until he was just behind the waiting humans, and watched tensely for the little green man to walk. Okay, that's it for today. On Friday, we've got Picture Book Friday, so I'm excited about that. And I think I've chosen just the right picture book for that. Hopefully it'll be a picture book that you've not read before. And then on Sunday, of course, we'll come back to our chapter book, The Hodgeheg, and we'll find out a little bit more about Max's discoveries. Also, of course, later this week, watch out for a video which I will do to share what people have been doing at home. Anyway, in the meantime, stay safe, stay home, and happy reading.